I know this is going to sound like one of those made-up creepypasta stories, but I swear on everything I have that it's real. I'm a sophomore at a mid-sized university in the Midwest, living in an off-campus apartment with two roommates. Life's been stressful, but normal classes. Exams, cheap beer, late-night pizza. Nothing supernatural. Nothing weird. At least until 3 weeks ago. That's when the app showed up. It wasn't in the App Store, at least not the official one. People said you could only get it through a link that spread around group chats. Someone in my dorm called it the Countdown. It sounded like a joke, a stupid little novelty app, like those scan your fingerprint and it'll tell you when you'll die things. I wouldn't have even downloaded it if my roommate Tyler hadn't dared me. We were sitting in the living room, half drunk on cheap vodka. He shoved his phone in my face. On the screen was a black background, a single line of white text at the top. Enter. Your name. Tyler typed his in and hit submit. For a second the screen stayed blank. Then numbers appeared. 3 days, 11 hours, 26 minutes. Beneath that, a single sentence. Car accident, late evening. I laughed. That's it? That's the big scary app? Tyler shrugged. Just wait. It updates. And it did. That night, when he checked it again, the countdown had shifted. 3 days, 9 hours, 18 minutes. I didn't think much of it. Probably just some dumb prank that used your system clock. But Tyler wouldn't shut up about it. And the next day, everyone on campus seemed to have the damn thing. People were comparing their death predictions between classes like they were zodiac signs. Oh my God, mine says drowning. Mine says old age, 64 years. Everyone thought it was hilarious. Until the first death. A freshman named Claire had gotten falling accident 2 days. Nobody thought twice about it until she tripped down the concrete stairs outside the library and cracked her skull. Dead on impact. The app's timer had been right down to the minute. After that, things changed. People got quiet. Some deleted it, but their phones kept reinstalling it by themselves. One guy smashed his phone with a hammer, bought a new one, and the app was already there the first time he turned it on. That's when I stopped laughing. I hadn't even checked mine yet. I didn't want to. But curiosity's a bitch. A few nights later, when I was alone in my room, I opened the app. The screen was the same black void, the same white text. I typed in my name. The numbers appeared instantly. 12 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes. Then the line beneath, stabbed off-campus parking lot. My stomach dropped. It wasn't just the violence of it, it was the specificity. My apartment building had a sketchy parking lot in the back, the kind that was barely lit at night. A couple muggings had happened there already this year. I slammed my phone face down on the desk and tried to pretend it didn't matter. Just a stupid app. Just a coincidence. But then I noticed the message at the very bottom of the screen, in tiny gray text I hadn't seen before. Welcome, Daniel. We'll be in touch. I didn't tell anyone what my phone had shown me. I couldn't. Not Tyler. Not my other roommate, Jake. Not even my girlfriend. The second you admitted the app got under your skin, people treated you differently. Either they laughed at you or they looked at you like you were doomed. So I kept it to myself. But from that night on, I couldn't stop checking the timer. Every time I opened it, the numbers ticked down exactly as they should: seconds, minutes, hours. No glitches, no resets. Always counting toward that single moment, stabbed off-campus parking lot. The more I stared at it, the more real it felt. The next morning, campus was buzzing with another death. A guy from my economics class, Evan, had been hit by a drunk driver on his way back from a bar. His timer? One day early morning, struck by a vehicle. His friends swore he was terrified the night before. He hadn't wanted to leave his dorm. They made him go out anyway, said he was being dramatic. Now he was gone. People stopped calling it a joke after that. Some students dropped out entirely. Professors tried banning phones in class, but that didn't matter. You didn't need to open the app to feel its weight. Everyone knew the countdowns were real. I thought about deleting it, but what was the point? It always came back, and honestly, I needed to know. If my time was really running out, I couldn't just look away. By day 5, I started noticing something else. The app wasn't just a timer anymore. Every now and then, a notification would flash across my lock screen, short phrases. Cryptic, but directed at me. Don't walk home alone tonight. Be careful near the elevators. Almost halfway, Daniel. The first time it happened, I convinced myself it was just spam. Maybe some sick troll controlling the program remotely. But the messages always lined up with real moments. One night I ignored it and almost walked straight into a fight outside a bar. Another time the elevator in my building really did jam, trapping a group of kids for 2 hours. The app was warning me, or maybe guiding me. On the 7th day, Tyler's timer hit 0. His said car accident, late evening. We'd all joked about it at first, but when the day came, I noticed how careful he was. He refused to get in any car. He stayed inside all day, playing video games. He didn't even cross the street. We thought maybe he'd beaten it, that maybe it wasn't real after all. But around 11 p.m., he leaned back in his chair, laughing at something Jake said, and his gaming chair tilted too far. He crashed backward into the coffee table, glass shattering under him. One of the jagged edges cut right into his neck. There was so much blood. We called 911, but he was gone before the ambulance arrived. The app updated his entry immediately. It no longer said car accident. It just said confirmed. That's when I realized the worst part. The app wasn't predicting anything. It was making sure it happened. After Tyler's death, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the way his body had twitched on the floor, the way the blood had soaked into the carpet, while the app glowed on his phone, like it had been waiting for that exact second. Jake tried to act normal the next day, but I caught him deleting the app off his phone in a panic. He threw it against the wall when it reinstalled itself within seconds. Neither of us mentioned Tyler's chair anymore. We couldn't. I kept checking my own timer. It was down to 5 days, 2 hours, 17 minutes. Every time I looked at it, my chest got tighter. I avoided the parking lot like it was radioactive. I stopped driving. I even started skipping classes that required me to walk across campus after dark. But the numbers just kept ticking down. That's when the notifications changed. They weren't just warnings anymore. They were conversations. You can't stop this. Running only makes it worse. We're close, Daniel. I threw my phone in a drawer and tried to ignore it. That night, lying in bed, I heard the vibration. I told myself not to check it, but curiosity clawed at me until I finally grabbed it. One new message. Look outside. My blinds were shut. My room was dark. I sat frozen for a good minute before I finally stood up and peeled one slat open. There was nothing at first, just the empty street below, washed in the orange glow of a single lamppost. Then I saw it. A man, standing perfectly still at the edge of the parking lot, facing my building. Too far away to make out his face, but close enough to know he was looking right at me. I dropped the blinds and stepped back, heart hammering. When I checked my phone again, the screen was different. No timer, no prediction. Just one sentence. Closer than you think. The next few days blurred together. I barely left my room. I skipped classes, ignored calls, lived off ramen and energy drinks. Jake kept his distance, probably thinking I was losing it. Maybe I was, but the timer didn't care. 3 days, 5 hours, 12 minutes. 2 days, 7 hours, 9 minutes. 1 day, 14 hours, 33 minutes. It was coming, and there was nothing I could do. On the last night, I hit rock bottom. I sat staring at the countdown, sweat dripping down my neck. I thought about running, just grabbing my car and driving until the time ran out. But deep down I knew it didn't matter. The app didn't care where I was. It would make it happen. At 11:58 p.m. I got one final notification. Time to go outside. And the timer hit 0. I stared at the notification until my vision blurred. Time to go outside. I told myself not to stay in my room, lock the door, wait it out. But my body wouldn't listen. My hands were shaking, my legs moving on their own, like the words on the screen had rewired me. I grabbed the pocket knife I kept in my desk drawer and slipped it into my hoodie pocket, just to feel less helpless. Then I crept down the stairwell, every step echoing in the dead silence of the building. The parking lot was empty. Cold air bit at my face. A light flickered above the dumpster, buzzing like a dying insect. My phone buzzed again. Almost there. I scanned the shadows, knife clenched tight in my hand. Nothing, just rows of parked cars glinting under the lamppost. I thought maybe this was it, maybe nothing would happen, and the timer would just end. Then I heard footsteps, fast, heavy, pounding against the asphalt. Someone was sprinting toward me from the far side of the lot. My brain went white-hot with panic. I yanked out the knife, screamed, and swung as the figure lunged out of the dark. There was a sharp gasp, not from a stranger, from Jake. He staggered back, clutching his stomach. Blood seeped between his fingers. His eyes were wide, confused, already going glassy. He tried to speak, but only choked on it. I dropped the knife. No, Jake. I didn't. He collapsed onto the pavement. The life drained out of him before I could even process what I'd done. My phone chimed. I looked down, and the app had updated. Confirmed. Stabbed off-campus parking lot. I realized then that it had never been about some attacker. There was no faceless man waiting to kill me. The app hadn't lied. I had been the attacker all along. It had just nudged me here, little by little, until the prophecy fulfilled itself. My hands were still slick with Jake's blood when the final message appeared on the screen. "Thank you for confirming your time, Daniel. We'll be in touch." And then the timer reset. This time it didn't have my name. It just said, "Next, you."